Hello and welcome to Shelby Township Parks and Recreation in the News. I'm Joe Youngblood. With me today, we're very fortunate to have Kayak Program, Park Supervisor of the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center and Riverbends Park. Carrie, it's always exciting when you're on the show, just your natural personality and your your love for nature. It really shows in how much you are dedicated to the Nature Center, so we do appreciate that. We've had a lot of comments of people watching the show. They always enjoy when you're on here, so thanks for being on and your years of dedicated service to Shelby Township Parks and Rec. Speaking of that, you've been here over 25 years, eh?
Add 10 more.
35 years.
35 years. Well, you're not chasing me out the door, are you?
No, not at all.
Good, yeah.
Hopefully we get another good 10 out of you.
Easy,
all right. Now, Carrie, at the Nature Center, I know with yourself and the staff over there, you've been looking at some new programs coming up. And a couple of the ones you mentioned to me last week, real exciting programs. We have the Kayak Program.
Correct.
And a lot of our residents that know with the Clinton River in the area and as popular as that's becoming, lots of people are using the Clinton River. But the Clinton River can be very dangerous. And we want to have a way to teach people in a safe atmosphere. So
very much so.
So, Carrie, now we're going to be at Ford Field. We have a nice pond over there.
Yep.
And what a great place to teach this program. And how did you come about this new program? Because we haven't had anything like it.
No. This is a new program that we're looking at. You know, me and the staff of the Nature Center is doing a outdoor adventure series, for lack of a better name. You know, it's in the works. This is pilot one. It's a kayaking segment, and then in March we want to take and do a backpacking segment. So if you're going to do a day pack, or whether you're going to do a short weekend pack, or whether you do an extended pack, or an extended pack where you involve a canoe or something, like you go to the Boundary Waters in Minnesota or something. So little insights as to things you should take for each application and preparation.
Well, I love the idea of the adventure because whenever a lot of people think of a nature center, they think of you come to a class, you sit down, you look at some insects or bugs, or maybe you go on a little walk, but to look at the activities, and that's all wonderful. But you have that active nature lover, outdoors person that's tied to the Nature Center. So I mean, the kayaking and the backpacking. I mean, these are great programs. And as we talked about with the Clinton River, you better know what you're doing out there.
Very much so. One other element that we're probably going to try to push is our mountain biking, because what people don't realize is when you think adventure, it doesn't have to be in the Upper Peninsula, it doesn't have to be in the Boundary Waters or Land O'Lakes or something. I mean, we've got adventure right in our backyards. Whether it's a 2-hour hike where you pack a snack and make the day of it, take a camera, binoculars, a book or something, mountain biking, kayaking. Yeah. Kayaking's not just for the Clinton River. We're lucky here in southeast Michigan. We've got a lot of water bodies, and that larger lakes like Stony Creek, smaller lakes and ponds, and kayaks aren't just river craft. I mean, I'm an avid kayaker, so every chance I get, that's in the water. And I've been on ponds as small as the one at the municipal grounds to the Lake Huron tip of the thumb, kayaked out mile and a half out to the lighthouse, and it was awesome, and there's so much to do in the outdoors, both locally and in this area of Michigan, that it's a shame not to go out and enjoy it, man.
And for those that haven't been on a kayak or at all, or as much as you have, what's the difference as being in the open water as opposed to being on the river? And which would you prefer being on?
Well, there's so many variables that tie into that, Joe. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm on the water. But you have to take and really be conscious of what the water is telling you, i.e., has it been rainy recently? Well, the Clinton River and smaller bodies of water, are going to be dirty, high, debris, dangerous snags. Let's see, high winds. You're going to have some larger waves, quicker to blow up a storm. So you got to kind of watch your weather. You got to kind of watch what the existing conditions are. But it's all good. But by that same token, your craft dictates what you can use. Different kayaks are rated for different things. Some have flat bottoms, some have a big keel, some are longer, some are shorter, and all that makes
for different.
Yes, the different applications, and that's basically one of the things we're going to be going over in our Kayaking 101 is the types of different watercraft, the type of different water bodies you'll be dealing with. What are you buying it for? You want a little fishing craft? Well, you don't want one of these big, long, 13, 14-foot lake units that slip through the water like glass. You want something flat, a little stable, so all that plays into your your choice. You know.
Now yourself and the Nature Center staff will be teaching this
Correct.
kayak program.
Correct. We're going to be teaching it, as you said earlier, at the Ford Field Pond.
Right.
So there's no current issues. You know, there's no instability issues. It's small enough to have fun and be comfortable, and to get a good feel for what the craft can do and
Exactly.
and what your wants are. You know.
And do we have a start date yet for this kayak program?
We do. Unfortunately, it's going to be in September. It's a little on the late side, late in the season, but on a good point, everybody's got them on sale. You can actually take and maybe rent some this summer, experiment a little bit, take our class in the fall and say, you know what? Yeah, no, that's the kind I want. It's on sale. I'm grabbing that one, you know, or, you know, you don't just buy a kayak and say, ooh, I wish I'd have thought about it a little more.
Sure.
You know, so it's September 26th. We're limiting it to very few people. It's a pilot program. We want to be able to do more one-on-one, hands-on, so it's 10 people. The first 10 people are in. It's very inexpensive. $20, 3 hours. You can't beat that, you know?
No, you really can't.
We'll be going over safety issues with the kayaks, how you choose a kayak,
And
understanding
this is a
whether...
one-day class.
One-day
/
class.
clinic, yeah.
Yep, just 3 hours, 12 to 3 p.m.
Good.
And it's designed to be fun and comfortable, you know?
You just call the Nature Center to
Absolutely,
register?
absolutely.
What's the age limit?
Well, that's something else we wanted to take and steer it for. I mean, nothing against the younger individuals, but we want 15 and up, so we're a little bigger person, a little more you know, they comprehend a little better, you know, and it's.
No, that's a good idea.
I think so, you know.
Definitely.
But it's going to be fun, you know. We've got a bunch of different styles of kayaks, so you can actually look and test and, you know, try and then just, you know, have a ball.
Yeah, that's
It's the outdoors, man. Have a ball.
Well, I know it'll be a lot of fun, definitely. First of all, with you teaching it, your staff, and also we do get calls. People are interested. And also there's some different grants coming out there where the Clinton River is getting cleaned up even more, where I think, Carrie, sooner than later, this is, like you mentioned up north, you see a lot of these nice little canoe liveries where people coming in. You're going to see more of that on the Clinton River as it becomes safer with cleaning it out. So
Well,
this is a great step in the right direction
yeah.
here in Shelby Township for teaching people the correct way, safe way to ride a kayak.
Well, exactly. And one thing we want to stress to the people that want to go out and try kayaking and stuff is to be honest with your skill level.
Yeah.
I hear too many people say, well, you know what, I'm going to go and canoe the Clinton River or kayak the Clinton River and get a little experience, and then I'm going to go up on the Au Sable. Backwards. Au Sable's wide, 6-mile pull, averages 3 to 6 feet deep. It's safe, it's comfortable. You don't have to have any skill to do that. Whereas you go in the Clinton River, high water, high energy, cut and turn, snags. Wow, this wasn't here. It can be dangerous quick, and if you're not comfortable with it, you can be in trouble.
Now, Carrie, in the state of Michigan, what is sticking with rivers now, what has been the most enjoyable river for you to kayak on in your experience?
I got to be honest, Joe. Which one am I doing next? Which one am I on right now? I've kayaked a lot of bodies of water, both lakes and rivers, with a bunch of my friends, and I don't have a favorite.
You don't have one that sticks out?
No, there's some that I go to continuously because of convenience,
Sure.
and they never let me down.
But when you're on the river, it doesn't matter. You're enjoying it. Yeah.
You're hitting 5 stars. You know, there are several of them that are actually better for what your wants and needs are. Au Sable, great for catching trout. Certain, you know, in the fall, it's a wonderful river for color, you know. Whereas if you like a little more challenge, maybe you want to go a little farther upriver toward McMaster's Bridge on the Au Sable River, where they have the whirlpools and some cuts and currents, and it's not dangerous, but it's a lot more fun.
Right.
You know, it's challenging, you know, and sometimes...
Depends on what you're looking for.
Sometimes I just want to sit back with a cigar and a ginger ale and just drift, you know, and certain rivers will pull you right along. Certain rivers you got to work, you know, so...
All depends.
What's your preference?
Good.
We got it all.
We sure do.
You know, and it's there for us to use, man.
That's great.
It's good therapy.
Very good. So if they want to register, call 586-323-2478 at the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center. That's a new kayak program coming up.
Well, they just have questions either, Joe, you know.
Very good. If you have any questions, give them a call at the Nature Center. Also, Carrie, wanted to touch on Eagle Scout projects. And I'm sure a lot of residents that have their children in Little League Baseball have seen Lombardo Park, and that's turned into a beautiful park.
Yep.
And over the last year or so, Carrie, you've worked with the different Eagle Scout groups, and we've brought in those, and they have built these beautiful dugouts there.
Absolutely.
At the fields there and at Woodell Park. Now, not only the dugouts, but we have different projects. River Bends, we got the kiosk there at the start of the
Correct.
Mountain bike trail. Beautiful kiosk. So, question for you, Carrie, is what are some of the other projects that some of the people here in Shelby may not have known that our wonderful Eagle Scout projects have done?
Well, these aren't butterball projects.
Correct.
I mean, we've
You
had
have
some.
to know what you're doing.
Well, we've had
That's
some
for sure.
well-meaning scouts come in and
Yeah.
want to do something on the simple side, and if that's the case, well, then maybe somebody else will bite on that, because we want stuff that's really going to make an impact with the user.
Sure.
In whatever application it be, and we want something that's going to take and challenge this youth. This youth is a construction manager. He's the coordinator. He ain't got to touch a tool, but he's got to plan the safety. He's got to plan the food, the water, the timeline, the materials needed. Which dads are going to run the equipment. So we like to set the bar a little high, and it
So
shows.
they're like the contract manager. They're overseeing
Exactly,
everything.
the construction manager, and it shows in the project that they turned out for us. They went through and renovated all of the trap range and put all new shotgun racks and shooting stations through our stations. They went through and put all new 4x4 post apparatus to hold those compressed archery bales. The list goes on. They did a great bridge extension at the end of the 8th grade.
Yes.
So we can
It's
finish
very
that
nice.
trail
Right.
that will tie in over to Holland Ponds.
Exactly.
As you said, all the dugouts. It was a wonderful Class A sports complex.
Right.
But we didn't have good places for a light misty rain or
Sure.
some beaten sun. So if kids would get out of there and you a sports person, sitting on a bench is one thing. Sitting in a dugout, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little,
You got the
you feel better.
camaraderie.
Yeah,
You got
and you're in a
that,
dugout like the
feel part of
Tigers
the
way,
team. Exactly. Right. In aesthetics, it's
the aura.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And we have projects from the athletic end of it to the recreational end of it. Right now, we're working on our dugouts. We want to get and finish those Lombardo Field dugouts. There's a couple quality fields over at River Bends we want to take and finish them. We've started a couple of them. As you mentioned, the kiosks. We've got a couple of those kiosks in our parks. I think those would be wonderful kiosks to put in all our parks for information coming like events, lost and found.
And they have a good template to follow now.
Exactly.
And if you haven't seen one, if
Exactly.
you're interested, at the start of the mountain bike trail, beautiful kiosk right there. And the kiosk is very useful. Like carry on that start when we have the
Yep.
map.
Yep.
You take your iPhone, swipe it across, the map's
Boom, you got it.
downloaded right on there.
Exactly.
The 8 miles of mountain bike trail, so
Well,
very useful.
upcoming concert series for the summer. Oh, wow, I didn't know they're coming on that. Boom, you got it,
Yeah.
You can take and say, hey, no, honey, it's this day. We got to go.
These are, like you said, Carrie, major projects. They benefit all of the community. Shelby Township.
Exactly.
They stand out, and they're going to be used for years.
Well, I mean, these kids aren't doing it cheap. They're doing it right. And, we check with the building department to make sure that they're built to code. Oh, no, we had one, the first dugout we did at Lombardo. Our building department came in and says, we got to make some changes. Bolts instead of lag screws. I want more nails per board. Scout did it. Now we have a template that we know.
Yes.
And it's built right, and it'll last a long time.
Definitely. Very good. Also at Carrie, switching gears on that, and great job with the Eagle Scout projects. That's something that really, it benefits us. Of course, the Eagle Scouts, they need their projects, so you coordinate that with them. So it's a win-win situation, definitely.
It's give and take, and it's rewarding.
Yeah. I also want to announce the pickleball courts over at Woodall Park are now open. There's 3 courts over there. Shelby Township Parks and Rec Maintenance Department built these courts, and they're pretty much out there every morning playing. There's a group of a lot of Shelby Township residents that organize the leagues out there. So if you have any questions on that or who to contact, give us a call at Parks and Rec 731-0300, and we have a contact name and number for you. Or just drop in and get out there and play. So that's the pickleball courts. And Carrie, I know you've seen the crowd they've turned out. I mean, I tell you what, it surprised me. I mean, we were glad to build it. We knew it was getting popular, but it's taken off like a wonderful, wonderful recreation program.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. I mean, I've heard about it, and then I'm thinking, what do we know about this? And not much at all. But
Right, Arizona, Florida,
Yeah.
retirement community is popular, but
I know that when we had it on 24 Mile Road at the May Stecker Park, it was popular. But when we moved it over to River Bends, where there's 2 courts, it's a little bigger. It's a bigger parking lot. It's more exclusive for them. Holy moly, man! That parking lot gets filled quick, pal.
it does.
Oh yeah, and they're having a ball doing it,
Yeah.
man.
It's a great sport. Great sport. So we're going to get some clinics out there also.
Awesome.
Carrie, get some. We'll announce that in our next newsletter, along with Ray Snee, who's our liaison for the
Sure, yeah,
pickleball
Ray.
court. So I think that's since it is somewhat maybe new to the area. If you haven't done it, having a clinic will get people interested.
An introduction to the sport. That's an awesome idea.
Definitely. And also, Kerry, I wanted to touch on the range that we have over at Riverbends Park. As we know, we have the Detroit Sportsman Congress right around the corner, but we have our very own right here at Riverbends Park. Some people don't know about. So give us a little background on that range.
We've had the range since the park was open, and it is one of the conditions that was included in the park where
from the state.
Yeah, we have to keep the range. We have to keep it open. Now, we've had to monitor the hours a little bit because of staffing issues and budget issues. You know, so it's open 4 days a week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It opens at 9 a.m. every day, but depending on when the light changes in the evenings, depending on season, it closes at different times. It's usually dusk, but usually in the winter months, it closes at 5 o'clock because it's dark. It's dusk.
What's the busiest time of the year for the range?
Basically, that depends on what sport you're partial to. We have two ranges actually. One is our shotgun trap range, and the other one is our target archery range. Target archery usually gets going September because October 1st is the archery opener. So guys are in there throwing arrows like crazy, and it's tough to get a spot. You got to get there early. You got to wait in line, be patient, and for your opportunity to shoot that. Our trap range is for flying clay pigeons only. It has to be smaller BBs than number 2 shot. So we really don't allow the buckshot loads for deer, the slug loads for deer. It's flying BBs only. And we see a lot of families out there, a lot of kids, a lot of parents, you know, and that's what we want. We want people to get out in sport and do it safe, do it right. There's always a range officer on duty. We have different rates depending. We have a $40 annual fee for the 65 and under. 64 and under, 65 and up. We have a senior rate, it's $30. We have rates for less than 15 years old, you know, is $4. 15 and up is $6. And when you think about it, you can take and show up with your bow and arrow and your shotgun and a flight of shells and have a pretty good day for $6, you know? $6.
Can't beat the price on that.
Oh my goodness. And, you know, in fairness to you and your staff, we've made improvements to the range. It's cleaner, it's run better. And we haven't raised our prices in about 6 years. You know, it's very cost effective. The trap range really gets going in August because in early September, you have the small game opener. So guys want to get out there and get their timing down. So
sharpen the skills up a little bit.
And have some fun, man. That's what it's about.
Good. Thank you, Kerry. Kerry, I see that you brought some friends here with you.
I brought a guest.
Yeah. I can't tell what it is. I thought you brought a sack lunch here, but
well,
I know it's a snake.
People in the past have made comments about the Shadbush Nature Center doesn't have any native animals. And it's true. At one time, we had a lot of non-native animals. Well, we've made that change, and now pretty much 90% of the animals at the Nature Center are natives. Some don't do well in captivity, so we don't have too many of those. We have a lot of other animals that do well in captivity, that are very good hands-on for students and kids. This happens to be a ball python. It's not native, but some of our non-native species make great teaching aids. You know, people think they're slimy. There's no slime to it, Joe.
Not at all.
I mean, not at all. Certain non-native species make great teaching aids. One of our examples is our bearded dragon from Australia. Native lizards don't do well in captivity. Well, we can teach with a bearded dragon everything about a lizard we could teach with a native one. And they have great housekeeping, easy maintenance, not aggressive. You know, they're laid back. They're easy teaching aids, just like this ball python.
Where do you find this python at?
This ball python is a descendant native of Africa. This has been in the pet trade industry, so it's, I don't want to use the word dumbed down, but it's calm. Any wild animal has a defense mechanism. This is very laid back. It's not a biter. Its defense mechanism, if it gets intimidated, it gets up in a ball and tucks its head inside. You know, one thing
Is this the same thing as the larger python where it will kill its prey by wrapping itself
It's a constrictor, correct. In the wild, it doesn't eat too many mice. It's a good climber. It's a good ground snake. Most active in dusk and dawn. Middle of the day, not so much. End of the day, not so much. It's got a very intimidating head. When you look at the head, you go, whoa, because anytime you watch a scary movie and a snake goes hiss right next to you, it's a python. It ain't biting. But the way the head is all shaped, well, I didn't want his head touched. The way his head is shaped like a diamond, oh, you know, it's a venomous snake. It's not venomous at all.
That is a very intimidating looking snake. Now, Carrie, I know, and I'm the same way. I mean, I'll touch a snake, and I know yourself, you've never been, but boy, it looks like you've really...
I've come a long way, Joe.
Yeah.
I've come a long way. I'm a Catholic boy, and way back in my day, you know, when you're looking at a snake, you're looking at Lucifer. And I had one wrapped around my face one time, and I freaked. So it was tough for me to touch them. Yeah. But working with the Nature Center animal care individuals, at first I would only hold a certain snake or two with gloves on, and there's still snakes I won't hold. Because they're a little more nervous, and that's how snakes are graded, as a nervous snake, a calm snake. You know, so this is a very calm snake. Yeah. I don't have a problem holding it. It looks intimidating.
You feel strong as thing is.
Very strong, very strong. This is about full grown. It gets to be about 4 feet long, can be as long as 5 feet long. Some will live as long as 30 plus years. So a long time. This happens to be God, I hope I got it right. This is a male.
Okay.
They usually have 3 to 4 eggs. Most snakes will lay eggs and they're gone. They're done. The female of this species will actually stay with the eggs all through the hatching process until the eggs are hatched, and then she'll go her own way. So they're very parent-oriented, which is not quite usual for a snake. You know, this happens to lay eggs.
Okay.
Some snakes actually lay live young, so that's one of the neat things about the snake species, you know.
It's just beautiful.
Oh, it's very beautiful.
It's like amazing.
I'm not sure if there's different.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, well, and you know, even looking at the bottom, the way it's creamy white and smooth.
Can you turn it over here towards making a little bit to get the bottom there?
Well, why don't you hold this end, and I'm kidding, Joe.
Well, I got to get a picture.
Okay. And I think that there are even different color variants to shades of more of an olive green and more chocolatey and slightly different color variants, you know. But awesome teaching aid. And one thing that we found that is a little bit of a handicap to us is once the young girls start holding the snake, it's tough for the boys to put their hands on them. I don't know what it is, but the women, the ladies, and the girls, they love to hold the snakes.
Really?
I don't understand it, you know. But a very good teaching aid, like I said many times, and what a laid-back creature, you know.
So this, I mean, does it have teeth where it will...
all snakes will have some form of a teeth, you know, and sometimes they're
But he's not a biter, though.
No, not a biter at all. So when they grab their prey, just to help turn it and everything, you know, they may grab it and then curl around it, but they got real short, small teeth just for holding, you know, not for injecting venom or, you know, doing crazy things. But he's a doll, and it's nice to have.
Now, if you put this around your neck, will it like start wrapping around possibly?
That's its instinct, is to constrict.
Yeah.
And so one thing we don't do with any of our animals, especially snakes or constrictors, is we don't put them around the neck.
Yeah,
why would you? You know, we don't try to put our faces up by their face. No. So if it does bite, I don't want to get bit in the face. Yeah. If accident, you know. One thing we do with our snakes at the Nature Center is we don't feed them in the cage they live in. So that if we have to go in and get the snake and it's hungry time, it doesn't think, oh, here comes my mouse, and it bites you, thinking you're feeding it. We'll always take the snakes, put it in a separate aquarium, take it in a multi-purpose room, let it calm down, docile down, and then feed it, and then it goes back into its home aquarium. So we know it won't associate opening the cage, food, open the cage, food. Yeah. Don't want to program that way.
He is very, very calm, but yeah, that head is very intimidating.
It can be very intimidating, and I think that's one of the reasons why people like it so much, because it's a creepy looking head.
It is.
You know, you look at a rattlesnake, it's a diamond shaped head.
Right.
You know, and you look at this head, well, it's kind of wedge diamond shaped, you know, and it will turn some people off, you know.
Now, is it the pattern on its the body there, is that designed for the out in the wild to help camouflaging?
It's strictly camouflage, depending on the area. Obviously, it spends a lot of time on the forest floor, but it will go in the leaves. Yeah. So it looks like leaves and falling and down leaf litter, and as you golfers know, like pine straw, you know. And it will eat anything it can catch that it can get in its mouth, be it mice, you know, which is more a captivity thing, birds, eggs, lizards, rodents, you know, larger insects. It'll eat. It must like your cologne, Joe. It's tasting the air, you know. Must be good, you know. I know it's not so good, you know, but it's just a wonderful addition to our teaching tools we have at the center.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, one thing I will say before we say goodbye to this, Joe, is by the tail end of the snake, there is a spur. Two little spurs. If you look here, Joe, hold the tail. See those two little dots right there?
Oh yeah.
Any guesses of what those might be?
Gosh, I don't know. I can't even guess.
If you can see those two little spots on the bottom back of the snake, snakes are descendants of lizards, and that's the last obvious sign of rear legs.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Unbelievable.
I started reading up on that and going, "Oh, no kidding." So yeah, that was kind of awesome,
Yeah, that is
So
cool.
all good.
So a little nubs there.
I think it's a little camera shot.
Yeah, I think so. Good. All right. Thank you very much, Croce.
You're very much welcome, sir.
Well, do we have anything else?
Yes, there's one
you
more
wanna add
program
to
I
it?
want to touch base on just before we bail.
All right, great.
And
You guys staying busy over there with all the programs you have going on.
well, it's about doing stuff that people can do at a low cost and have some fun and do with the family. I mean, nothing against active recreation. That's always good for physical fitness.
Good to have the mix.
You know, exactly. You know, and I've always been a believer of that, Joe.
Definitely.
One's good. You know, two is better. You know, you have a balance. You know, we have a program coming up in the springtime. It is a history program, which is I gotta remember the name of it, Joe. I got a little stage fright.
Is this the history of Riverbend's Park?
No, that's the one we're going to do in the fall.
Okay.
This one is Pioneer Life.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a blacksmith. We'll have a broom maker. We'll have a basket maker. We're going to have
show what
some animals.
life was
exactly.
like back in the
you know,
day,
when the first people came to Shelby Township, Utica,
Right.
you know, Hogs Hollow, Utica, they came in a wagon. You know, why did they settle here? The Lurch family. I can tell you why. Sarah Lurch fell out and broke her arm. Says, "Oh, we're going to stay here." You know, they were going farther west. So we talk a little bit about the Lurch family and the history.
Wonderful.
We go visit our pioneer cabin.
There's a lot of people that love to hear
A lot of
about the
elements,
history.
you know.
Yeah,
That's a 2-day event. Whereas in the fall, we're going to take and open that up a little wider and actually deal with the Lurch family. Most people don't understand, but the Lurch household was a stop on the Underground Railroad. We're going to deal with the Clinton-Kalamazoo Canal, that people aren't too familiar with. Ran from Clinton Township. Was supposed to go all the way across the state. You ain't got to go around the mitten no more.
Kalamazoo, yeah.
Ran out of money. You know, we'll talk about that. Yeah. We're going to talk about the Joe Louis area, Brown's bomber. He had a farm in the park. Right. That is right by the Nature Center.
A lot of history there.
Oh, tons. From that aspect, we'll go into the Cold War Nike era.
Sure.
Because there was a missile base on this site. Right. And then we'll go through the actual ownership of the park, like from 92 forward to the actual building of the Nature Center and construction of the Nature Center and how it got named. And that's going to be a 3-hour event. And that is going to be in September also. We'll talk about it more in the future when it comes up. It'll be a free event.
Very good.
And we'll have 6 or 7 different nature orators, interpreters doing this element. So it'll be a story of Riverbend's Park.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'd be good.
The good stuff, Kerry.
Real good.
Real exciting things going on at the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center. So, Kerry, thanks for being on the show today.
Always a pleasure.
Plethora of information. So
it's all good. Share it, man. I can't help but get excited because, you know, I love the outdoors.
You can tell you love it. No doubt. And thanks for bringing the python.
He was excited, too.
He was. Nice snake, though. I'm not a snake lover, but it's calm.
I'm not either, but you know what? He's okay in my book.
Yeah.
They serve us a place in society, you know, by eating rodents and eating undesirable things and, you know, black plague, you know, rats, rodent eater. Bring it on.
Perfect. Well, Kerry, thanks again for being on the show. I appreciate it as usual. And to everyone watching, thank you very much. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today or anything in Parks and Rec or at the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center, give us a call at 731-0300. And please remember, here at Shelby Parks and Rec, we create community through people, parks, and programs. Thanks for watching.